Chill.
And here we are, once
Hello,
again,
hello.
live on camera in front of our adoring masses. Mwah. Hello out there. Mwah. Hello, hello. Uh, I am Lara. Someone else introduce yourself.
And I'm Alex.
And I'm Viditya.
And
And
we are. No, I'm doing it. And
okay,
we are here to play The Marks We Leave Behind. We planned out this introduction real hard.
it's supposed to be like this. Yeah, this is.
This is executed at peak perfection.
Oh.
Unplaytested. We did it on purpose.
So we are gonna be playing a one-player game today, and by we I mean
That's
just
why there's three of
Viditya.
us.
Yeah, the two of us wrote it just by ourselves, and we've put out our podcast episode about it, and now Viditya's gonna try playing it for everyone, and we're just gonna chill out and relax and vamp if we need to. We'll
We're just
answer
gonna stare at
questions.
him in a stony silence, and if he's not fun enough, then he's out.
That's the thing.
No, if you're not fun enough, you have to keep going. That's the problem.
No, I figure we can definitely help and chime in,
Yeah.
as need be, but you're in charge of the drawing, so
Okay.
Yes. It's all you.
It's all me.
which is why you get big face.
Yeah.
I should have dressed up. I should have been like a little bit more presentable or something.
Well,
I'll let my hair down.
There we go.
Because I got a big screen.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's fine. My hair's fine.
And
Sorry.
it's gonna be you'll have to, I guess, decide on where you want to draw on yourself so that it's
yeah.
kind of visible to the audience.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You got arms, yeah.
I got arms. I have a neck. I guess I could do it on my face. I could just scrub in the morning or something before going to bed.
Oh,
We'll figure
that's too
it
good.
out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, it's what you feel called to do by the game, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just let the spirit move you, I guess.
But I don't know anything about this game. I kind of half on purpose, half because I got distracted by pizza. I'm excited to explore this game.
Yeah. I'm glad. Yeah, I feel like it's the ideal amount is just knowing a little bit about it and then going into it. I think that will be the most fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is we know very little about this game either, so
Right. We both know the most about it that any human knows, and also, not that much.
not that much. Should we read the introduction?
Yeah.
All right. Do y'all have a copy of the game? I printed mine out because I'm a professional.
Very good. Yes.
I have mine on my computer.
I've also got mine.
I have a printer, but I'm not a professional.
It's okay. You know what? Not everybody appreciates a fine laser print like I do.
Oh my God.
I just think of Captain Planet standing behind me just like shaking his head.
Yeah.
Killed another tree today, Alex. How do you feel?
That tree had it coming. That tree was coming right for me.
Wait, I have to put Captain Planet in the Unplaytested, list of
In the
games
list?
to make.
Oh,
yeah, I gotta
okay,
put it
I
in
can
the
play
list.
that. No.
That
I'll
actually would
redo
be
that.
good.
No, wait.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not today.
We can't unplay test right here.
Right. As much as we definitely do need to have you on sometime.
Yes, for Captain Planet.
If that's what the dice command.
Yeah.
All right. I'm jumping into the introduction. I'm keeping us moving.
Hit it.
Ahem. Ahem. You used to live in this city. There was a time when you knew it. Every alley, every brick, every last speck of gravel in the streets was a part of you. And then you left. You had your reasons. They seemed important at the time. Can you even remember what they were? What was it that impelled you to cut off everything you knew and heave out into the wastes that lie beyond the city? Were you chasing a dream, escaping, fulfilling a prophecy? It doesn't matter. You left the city, but it never truly left you. And now you're back. What are you looking for?
Very exciting.
Yeah. So this is The Marks We Leave Behind, a solo game about finding the familiar in a strange city. It's a journaling game, but you, Viditya, are the journal, as every event will require you to draw your response on your skin, marking yourself with your changes. And you'll be using a deck of playing cards and some markers, and your own flesh.
I'm ready.
So to set this up, we'll start up by thinking up some details about the setting. Your player character will be a bit more mysterious, and you'll learn about them as you play. So don't write anything down on paper, that's illegal. If you need to keep notes about your setting, you have to jot them down on the back of your hand. And why don't you read the section about the city?
Yeah. The city. Start by thinking about the city. What's it like? What's the genre it exists in? Something post-apocalyptic, a steampunk hellscape, fantasy melting pot. Is the city actually a space station or body of a giant dead crab? Does it move? Some things are true. It's enormous. If not the biggest city in the world, at least the biggest around. It's chaotic. Crime, business, art, politics, all happening at once, barely controlled. It's strange. Even to you, the person who lived there for so many years, every turn brings a new detail. Nobody can understand the whole of the city. This is very much a broad, detailed viewpoint, and you will dial in more over time. And then I can also read the example.
Oh, I want Lara to read the example because she wrote it. It's very good.
Ooh, then yes.
Example. Hessvale, the greatest of the imperial necroburgs. Nobody remembers the name of the city which used to stand here, but now it is a crater, over a mile beneath the surface at its deepest point. The rubble within it was repurposed into the homes and factories built into the crater walls, now mostly populated with the undead remnants of the people who died when the bomb hit a century ago.
Wow.
That's so cool.
All right. Okay.
So something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I like this. Let me start with the genre, right? Like that's an important place to start.
Mm-hmm.
Or should I do this, or do we want to go through everything and then, or should we come up with the city and then move on to the factions and the gameplay and all that?
Well, I think we should come up with the city first.
Yeah.
Just define the factions.
It doesn't technically say. It just says don't write things down on paper. Do write them down on yourself, though.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
Do write the name of your city right on your forehead so that we can see.
Right on the floor and backwards, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I've had fantasy on the brain recently,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to put a spin on it, right? I don't want
Yeah.
to just go like it's fantasy. Actually, I have fantasy on the brain because I've been watching Alex's Cape and Blade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which has some wonderful fantasy world building. So
It's really fun.
I want to make fantasy weird.
Yeah, I think our big breakthrough for Cape and Blade was going, what if it was on a bunch of sky islands up above the ocean?
That
And,
was
like,
great.
they had once been raised out of the ocean, and that was the point where all of our imaginations just lit up, like, yeah, and then there's flying whales and da-da-da.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was so good. I think I might take a... Ooh, what if it's like domed. It's like a domed cities, right? Let's do
Mhm.
post-apocalyptic fantasy. That's my
Cool.
genre mashup.
Nice.
And it's incredibly verdant inside the domes and is like
Mm.
hellscape outside the domes.
Nice.
So
Nice.
you got kind of that aesthetic juxtaposition. And I always like using fantasy as like a platform for like environmental, like it's like an environmental kind of message. Because I'm like, well, that's the fun part about is okay. Industry run amok is the problem with fantasy. So maybe it's
Mhm.
kind of like that. Is like the inside is like verdant. I love Jungle Dome. Yeah, we'll go like it's this
Yeah.
beautiful kind of tropical Jungle Dome. I can pull some like really cool Indian, like South Indian kind of coastal stuff from it.
Ooh,
Uh,
yeah. That sounds awesome.
and then the outside is like we've we fracked the world. Damn you, fracking!
Do you think it was like, is it like straight up fantasy industrial, or is it like fantasy magical industrial? Like, did they mess up with a big spell or something?
It's got to be spells. Yeah, no, it has to be. It has to be like I think. Okay, how about this? How about this? We're trying to mine, right? And everyone's like, it's like an automation thing. I think it's maybe like we tried to like some major sorcerers who I guess are like CEOs in Fantasyland were like, you know what I'm gonna do? What if I create a spell that just pulls all the ore from the earth that I need?
Yeah.
And they kept like making that bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually it kind of went awry and they like cast a spell that was basically apocalyptic and just unearthed, like just like drew a shit ton of stuff from underground and they're like, oh no, it's destroying the world.
That's awesome. I wonder if it was like, stop me if this is too far, but it would be really interesting if you created a spell that was trying to like get valuable metals, and then when you increase the range on it big enough, it like grabbed the planet's core and just like yanked it a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Like it wouldn't be strong enough to rip it out to the surface, but it would just like
Mhm.
just yoink it.
Just a little freaky tweak of the planet's core is probably going to destroy a lot of things.
That seems like bad, real bad.
I have a follow-up question. Is this a thing that happened like generations ago, or is this thing that happened a couple years before the dome? Like, where are we in relationship to the big core yank?
The big
No,
yank.
that's a big no. You know when the sorcerer did the big yank, we all felt it. I think I might push the like post-apocalyptic version of it. So it's like it's generations ahead. I think like the dome cities were like a struggle, like a real struggle to construct. And then like so you have maybe like two generations of people who had to construct it and then live in it and like kind of live in a hellscape. And then maybe a few, and then maybe a few sorry, and then maybe like a few, it's been like maybe like another three generations. And so it's like officially there are people who have lived their whole lives in these domes and don't like lived and died in these domes and like know what that life is and don't even remember or have no record. And it can't even talk to like great grandparents about life before the dome. That's what I'm thinking.
Nice.
I like this. I feel like you definitely need to draw a dome somewhere on you, right?
I do need to draw a dome somewhere on me. That's a good point. Okay.
Especially because that's a nice, easy shape to fill in with more stuff.
Yeah. Okay, let's I'm gonna do this on my hand. Actually, let me check this marker. This marker feel good? This marker is not good. So I'm gonna go with.
We should have like bought you a set of markers. We should have sent you a new set of markers for this.
You're fine. I mean, I was thinking I could use expo markers, but I also have like good Prismacolor markers, and I was like, I could use those too, right? I have drawn on myself a lot. Like people would yell at me. They're like, "Don't you know that's toxic?" And I'm like, I
YOLO.
don't. Yeah, I'm like, who knows? All right, I made a big old dome.
Nice.
I'll probably kind of give it a few just little features or whatever, but that'll be things that we can add later.
Perfect. Well, we can start reading about the 4 factions whilst you're perfecting your imagery there.
All right.
I'll do the first couple and then I'll toss it over to Lara. So as you return to the city, you find discontent. 4 factions have arisen. Maybe they were here before you left, maybe they've sprung up since then, but they are here now, fighting each other for power. Each faction has a broad characterization, and your job now is to give them a name and a few details to bring them to life. In addition, each faction is associated with a card suit and with a particular flourish in your drawings. So our couple factions that I'll be reading are the Analysts, a bunch of smarties, altogether too clever for their own good, maybe associated with a school, or almost certainly prone to talk too much and show off whenever possible, likely to have power on the back of a unique magic or technology. Their symbol is clubs, and their style is sigils with lots of small dots.
Ooh, okay.
And yeah, you want to do the other 3?
Sure. The Toughs. Big, strong, hard-headed, itching to fight, most likely to use violence as a first resort, and exist outside of the law, but just as likely to be fierce protectors of those they care about. Their symbol is a diamond. Their style is sigils with sharp lines and corners. The Friends. Accommodating, open, driven to share their resources and their ideas. They may seem weak, but they gather allies and resources with suspicious ease, often just a little bit uncanny. Their symbol is the heart, and their style is sigils with wide curves and flowing wiggles. And the Corpos. Strict bureaucracy, hierarchical structure, and very clear rules about who is and is not allowed to be a member of the group. Likely to be the faction with the most actual civil authority. Their symbol is spades. They like sigils with arrows.
Oh, okay.
So, who have we got? Who are our factions in Jungle Dome?
Oh yeah, we got to give it like a name. Jungle Dome.
Jungle Dome.
I don't know if we actually said you have to name the city, so that's up to you.
Oh, okay.
If you want to.
I might then hold off on naming it for now. Naming cities, it's a process.
Yeah, gotta let it percolate.
You gotta let the name find you.
All right. So who do we have? The Analysts, a bunch of smarties, right?
Oh, and there's some examples on the next page.
The
We have
Guild. Oh, sorry. Well, I'll read them. Sorry. Club,
Sure.
the Necromancer's Guild, which is using its magic to try to escape government power. The Diamonds, the Ocean, a gang of displaced skeletons casting off the shackles of servitude. The Hearts are the Tea Room, a group of diviners attempting to make the city a better place. And then the Spades are the Civil Police, made of a diverse sort of people dedicated to peace but not justice. That's very interesting. I like these. Okay, all right.
No justice, yes, peace. No justice, yes, peace.
So the Analysts, I think, will probably have to Toughs, the Friends, and Corpos. I'm between making like. Oh, I think like we'll make the Analysts like historians. I think I always like having like a historical club.
Nice.
Where there's like, or maybe not. historians. I might go the other way. They're like they're trying to. I'm assuming. Sorry, thinking of. But in this dome, you got like a bunch of. It's like a microcosm of its own kind of technologies and stuff. But also, this is like a world with other cities, and I think travel between them is like a thing. But they're kind of their own cultures, and so like the analytics are these people who are like it. I'm thinking a lot about like old world fairs where
Ooh.
it would be like, look at this weird, cool stuff that we made. Like, we're doing this. And it's like, you're all kind of, so like, they're the people who are going around being like, look, we've like invented fucking like flying machines. And it takes you from but they only go up, you know? So it's like, we have like giant trees. And so we got to go up these trees and we did it. But I think they're much more invested in kind of like being the cool ones, you know, like they're the ones who like designed it. I'm losing my words here, but do you get what I mean? Where they're all like, "Look, we've made this cool thing, and like we were the first ones to crack this technology." Instead of like, but what about like practical stuff? And they're like,
Proposing an entire culture of Elon Musks.
oh no, that is what it is.
Oh, gross.
Oh no, I was like this close to saying like they keep trying to reinvent the bus. Oh, and it's like just make buses better. We already have buses. Stop reinventing the bus.
What if they're like the university from Alpha Centauri? They're just like, blue sky research for its own sake type stuff. That's less gross to me.
It is, yeah, no, that's because I do want it to be like because they're not like evil. They're just like I really love the idea of just nerds. Like they're just like we love like I'm so into the new like I'm also just thinking about people who are like really into building PCs. And I'm like, does your PC need to do this? And they're like, no, but it can now. And they're like,
that's very good.
I finally got it's like a 8K monitor. And I'm like, but why? And they're like, it's cool. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm not shaming you. It's just absolutely no. Anybody who's watching, if you like building computers, that is, I have no beef. It's just.
If you're watching this in 8K, get out of here. You don't deserve to see our faces in that level of clarity.
There's too many Ks. All right, yeah. I guess I'll have to come up with a name for them. But,
so the analysts are nerds.
Yes.
Engineer nerd types.
Okay. That's awesome.
The toughs, big, strong, hard-headed, itching to fight, most likely to use violence as a first resort and exist outside of the law, just as likely to be fierce protectors of those they care about. Okay. I had kind of an idea for this. I think, like, the dome, because they have a limited space, they cannot, like, this dome cannot, or the city can expand. And because it's so verdant, like with life, it's just lush. Oh wait, I should probably note take the fucking analysts.
It's a good plan.
I'm gonna keep an idea of the factions here. Sigils with lots of small
dots. On the
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how like kind of interesting and archetypal and different the faction ideas that we had are, given that it was like the first 4 things we came up with and we did not go back and edit it or change anything. Like, yeah, maybe they have dots. That sounds cool.
Dots are cool. Okay. Star. Lots of small dots that kind of make up. All right. I need to find a better place to showcase this, but that's their slogan.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
All
That's just
right.
I forgot that like you're a good artist. You're really the triple threat here on world builder, game
Thank
player,
you.
artist.
I do. I was like really into it because what I draw on myself are just like little abstract shapes and stuff. So I'm like, you've made this game for me, and
Oh,
I was more
perfect.
than happy to be like, yes, let me do this.
You've been practicing.
I'll again have to come up with a name for them because I'm just bad. If y'all have name ideas, I love names. So like, don't be afraid to
Toss
be
Cool.
out
like,
names in the chat, and whichever one's
yes,
best.
please.
Maybe it's some kind
Um,
of like a guild of something because they do sound a little.
they do kind of sound like that, yeah.
That is
Uh,
a good general purpose name you could say for something else too.
well, the toughs in this situation, what I was thinking about was like because there's like because it's an actively growing city, like because it's mostly nature in this small confined place. I think these. I just imagine. I'm like, what is like kind of burly worker men in this?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're like, what's the term? People who cut trees.
Lumberjacks?
Lumberjacks.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, no, that's great.
that's
Yeah.
really good.
So it's like, and like, I mean, and gardeners, like, but like, you have to take care of like the fast growing giant trees that are they're like, oh, we got to clear this way because there's
That's
other shit
amazing.
that we need. Um, so they're
I,
just like lumberjacks.
I love that this world is like just a barren wasteland, and then inside of them, they're like, "This tree's going up too fast.
Yeah.
It's gonna pierce the dome. Take it down."
It's the
Too much
double
life.
threat. It's the
Yeah.
double threat.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, okay. Um, okay, good. I'm glad that I hit that one pretty quickly.
That one's very
That's
good.
awesome. Yeah.
Uh,
Also, I just finished watching Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beast, so I can't help but think of them as being
Yes.
giant cats.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably
oh,
not, but
But the Timber Cats are so good.
are
it's
so
Definitely
so
one
good.
of the big
good.
inspirations for this game.
Oh, I really gotta watch that show. I keep forgetting
It's
to.
really good.
It's really
I'm
good.
sure.
You have to
Um,
keep playing this, but we're just gonna watch Kipo while you play. We'll be about 50% paying attention to you.
okay, sigils with sharp lines and corners. All right,
I mean, you could just make an axe, right?
that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna incorporate a thing.
Mm.
Exciting, right?
You need another camera. The hand cam.
Oh,
Like an
that would be
overhead
good.
hand
That
Yeah.
cam.
would be really good. I
Let's
mean,
see. I'm trying to see if I can draw. Well, when I draw on like this, we'll figure it out. It's fine.
the audience is into suspense. What is the thing?
Um, it's a slightly busier thing, but I wanted to do like it in action. Oh my god,
Ooh.
Okay.
I can't. All
You're
right,
gonna have to
but
hug the computer a little bit.
yeah, I'm like,
There
here we go.
you
All right,
go.
There we
so
go.
you got like a
Ah.
tree that's like actively being kind of chopped down.
I love it.
Nice.
That's
All
beautiful.
right. And then the friends, accommodating, open, driven to share their resources and their ideas. They may seem weak, but they gather allies and resources with suspicious ease, often just a little bit uncanny. Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
I have an idea bouncing around.
What do you got?
But you can definitely. So I feel like, given the big focus on like verdant life and everything, and if you wanted to take it in a slightly uncanny direction, it could be that the friends are all people who are hosts or symbiotes of like a particular fungus.
Ah.
I'm very into that. I'm always a big fan of that. Um yeah, no, that's perfect. And they're like they're like, oh, it's like we are of multiple minds. Like we love to Viditya's pro fungus. uh, I kind of am. Now that I think about it, but yeah, I like that. I think they're like, oh, we like take on life to help, like to help it grow. Like we'll like that's the thing is that there's their whole motto, I guess, is like we're
Yeah.
and like just as we do with the fungus, with like the spores, we'll also help you. It's like all of us are just hosts to each other.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, okay.
These sound like people who I'm gonna suspect want to infect me with a fungus.
That's
I don't
kind of
know
what
whether
I'm
they
thinking.
actually do, but I don't
Yeah.
trust them.
I love the tension of like, so are they chill about it or not, right? Like
Yeah.
that could really go either way.
Mm-hmm. I like and the often just a little bit uncanny. I think it's like it's probably I mean I would even say like we would just narrow it down to like it is a single fungus species or something that they like
That would make
groom and host. But
yeah.
it's a multitude of different types of people. So it's like, oh, like it's like my mom maybe used to be just a normal cat person and
Mm.
now she's chosen to take on a spore, right? And it's
Uh-huh.
like it's a fine thing. I think society's like okay with it, but you're like, you feel a little different,
Yeah. You got little mushrooms growing out of your tail.
Yeah, so that's okay. It's fine. Uh, okay. And then so this sigils with wide curves and flowing wiggles. Oh, perfect.
Easy.
Um, we have a circle, and then
This is fun. I like getting the little emblems for the different factions.
That should be in every game, is you have to make an emblem for your faction.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think we told you to do that, but you are doing
oh,
it,
I thought
and
that
it's a
was
very good
I'm
idea.
into
Oh no,
it.
you have to do it
Yeah.
now.
No,
You can't
that's
stop
going
now,
in the version 2 of the game, clearly.
if ever
All
there
right.
is one. Oh, I
So it's
like
a
this.
little it was a little too close, but I wanted to make it kind of more like the stepped
Yeah, yeah,
mushrooms.
yeah.
And then there's just a little that this represents like the host.
Nice.
All right. Last one. The corpus, a strict bureaucracy with hierarchical structure and very clear rules about who is and not allowed to be a member of the group, likely to be the faction with the most actual civil authority.
You know, the
Uh,
bad guys.
yeah, yeah.
Only
Um,
probably.
I think they are. I want to connect them to the outside world. Um,
Mm.
like I think like industry, like they're probably the people like oh my god. If we want to say that like the analysts are like people who are just too into like the new technology, like they're like the consumers or they're the people who love to twiddle, then these would be the Elon Musks who are like, all right, yeah, so what if the world was irreversibly destroyed because somebody used
Mm.
like magic to pull the Earth's core? What if we go out there and see if we can salvage anything? It's like
Mm-hmm.
there's still stuff out there. They like look outside the dome and it's just like horrible like jeweled trees or whatever. Like just molten steel. And it's like great. These are resources are just living out there, and like we need them. It's like well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make this cool. Like we'll get people to make a cyber truck and get it for us.
Yeah.
Uh, that's the idea. I think like I kind of just want to make them sorcerers.
That sounds awesome.
I'm
like they're
super into this. Yeah.
cool. They're just like magic people. Just a Cybertruck. It
It's made
is,
out of arrows.
yeah. Yeah, they're like industry sorcerers. So their magic is almost like they're both what allow us to have kind of industry inside of the domes, but is like something that is constantly in checks and balances with it. So it's like, hey, maybe don't do this. Like we're destroying the ecosystem within here, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. Like we don't want the dome to explode, but
It's within acceptable parameters.
exactly.
And like you can see why an organization like that would have very strict hierarchy. Like, okay, you're like a fifth circle sorcerer. Now you're allowed to like use, iron magnetism to try and pull iron to you or something. Like you couldn't be trusted with that at a lower level. You can only pull gold to you or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's like a juxtaposition of different magical practices, and this one is like very secretive, or not secretive, but like kind of, I imagine like college. It's like, oh, do you have like a degree in this? And it's like,
Yeah.
no.
You get certifications and stuff.
It's like you got to be certified to use. I love it. You're like, oh god, these metal mancers, these they fucking suck.
I hate them already.
Yeah, I've been studying for my fireball test.
They're not fuss budgets. They're gonna blow up the dome.
I imagine like
They
the
might blow up
lumberjacks.
the dome, but they're not gonna do it on purpose.
Exactly. I like the lumberjacks are probably kind of constantly butting heads with them, like because they like take care of the nature aspect of it, and they're like, listen, like the nature's we gotta maintain this, and they're like, you could just cut this down and we could build a train, right? And it's like, no, if we cut this down, then we gotta cut these down,
Right, it's gonna throw off the whole ecosystem.
This is a load-bearing tree.
Oh my god.
Oh.
All right, sigil and arrows. Ooh, okay. All right. It's very simple, but I think that's kind of the point. It's just.
All right.
There it is.
Oh, nice.
These are our factions.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I like that one. It's a very fun one.
Now that we know who our factions are, we need to figure out what you're looking for. It's a thing that can only be found in the city. The reason you returned, it's basically the entire character that you start with. You'll learn more details about your character as the game goes on, but to begin, it's just the thing you're looking for. It is not essential. It's not something you need to live, won't make you lots of money. It is something personal. It's also not trivial to get. It's either been split into parts or it'll take several steps to track down. Specifically, 4 steps. You don't need to define what those steps are. In addition to what you're looking for, think about what is making it hard to access. Example. You want to retrieve your old diary from when you were a kid. However, the bone walker you lived in has moved. You know where it's hidden in the bone walker, so you'll need to find out who owns the bone walker, where they've taken it, and get in and get your book. But I don't know if there are bone walkers in Jungle Dome. Can hope.
Bone walkers. Oh, that is really cool though. Like I would imagine like if you die, you would be fertilizer for the dome jungle.
Nice.
And then maybe your bones can then be used for bone walking. We'll see. I love it.
I mean, in like a,
bone walkers to be canon in Jungle Dome. I'm not going to complain. I love bones. I love those guys.
I'm a big fan.
Bones.
Oh my god!
Oh, you gotta make yourself bigger.
Oh my god, bones!
Whoop.
What is something? What am I? Yeah,
Now
what is
make the
the
bones. Yeah.
It's just like a head. Bones got a hat.
Bones with a hat.
All right.
Sometimes bones gotta be spiffy.
What's something interesting in Jungle Dome? Or why am I here? Let's say I'm here for I'm thinking like a plant. I'm like a flower.
Aw.
Or seeds or like flower seeds or something. So
Mm.
it's maybe not super rare, because I like that limitation, but it's maybe it's just like a like passed down. So it's not about any seeds. It's the ones that come from like this generational flower that we kind of keep.
That's
So it's like,
cool,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
You're like, sure, there's lots of this type of flower, but like this one's ours. You know, we've done like certain modifications to it. It's like it's our
Mm-hmm.
thing.
I imagine it's kind of like hibiscuses. I think are the ones that are like people love to kind of. You can kind of splice them even at home. Like it's not something that's really hard to
Oh,
do.
that's cool.
I think it's hibiscuses. I'm not entirely
That
sure.
sounds right.
Mhm. So it's like every one of them are very unique. That's really okay. And then we'll play it like, and then I don't need to come up with all the steps, but it's like, I guess like a first obstacle or like, well,
What is the thing that's preventing you from just grabbing the hibiscus
mhm.
wand and leaving?
I think, well, I also love the idea of just like, I need to find where things are because I think Jungle Dome, you know, shifts constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Things
Yes.
inside of it are just like growing and dying and moving and changing. So
Right.
it's like, oh my god, wait, are you telling me that our tree got chopped down?
Right. You're like,
But then,
God.
but like another one grew. So this isn't even this. It's like because you're like, oh, there it is. That's my home. And then you go over there and you're like, this isn't my home. This isn't my tree.
Yeah. I lived on 141st Elm Branch, and they're like, oh no, we're on like 3700th Elm Branch. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
How long
Yeah,
have
and
you
they
been
like,
out of here?
and you're like, oh shit, like this entire area is now a swamp. Like this whole like district is now like a swamp, or it was a swamp and it has now sunk. And you're like, fuck,
Mm,
okay, now what? Now where?
that's fun.
So it's more like, and I think like the point is you kind of have to trace like vines and various other like actual like kind of roots, like root
Mm-hmm.
systems are probably like our subway maps where you're like, all right, here's that tree, and if I follow its root system, it should grow again here. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's uh, I like that about it.
Cool.
I'm super into that. I love this little dome. I want to hang out here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw just a bunch of roots and like trees and stuff just on there.
Nice.
Slowly kind of fill in, but this just means that like, okay, so these are important to
Mm-hmm.
Jungle Dome.
Nice. All right. So
All right,
next up,
that's
you'll
exciting.
grab your deck of cards, shuffle it up, and then every round you're going to either draw two cards and pick one of them, discarding the other, or you can play the top card of the discard pile. And the cards you pick will determine the next type of scene you'll be considering and reacting to. After you've used a card that's removed from the game, not put in the discard pile, and if the
Mm-hmm.
deck ever runs out, you'll flip the discard pile over and use that. Ultimately, your goal is to get all four aces. Every ace gets you closer to realizing your goal. Every other card is an interaction that happens along the way. And since we're doing a playtest, it's up to you if you're like, I've gotten like 2 of the aces. It's been a while. I feel we're not going to be like, you must get all 4, even if it's down at the 52nd card of the deck, right?
Okay, yeah. All right, okay. Uh,
So yeah, the value of a card tells you what the scene is about. The suit tells you the faction that is involved. You have very simple prompts on the last page here. Um, and then think about how that faction would end up in that scenario. Since your character is a wanderer searching for their goal, it's easy for them to wind up anywhere in the city that you can imagine. So think about or narrate the scene. The rules technically say you can just imagine it silently. It's probably better if you talk. I'm
we
not going to
we
tell
can't
you what to
force
do.
you to.
yeah, one of these card pulls, I'm just going to be like, yeah, okay, next scene.
And then tears just start streaming down your face.
Just start bawling.
What were you
Oh
thinking?
my god. Oh my god. Okay, next scene.
Oh.
Uh, as you are doing your imagination, do at least one of the following: humanize your character, give them some details to make them more real. Humanize a faction, give them a specific member, bring forth someone from earlier in a new context. Again, make them seem more real. Or makes the city weird. A strange celebration, an unusual tradition, an uncanny occupant. Just fill the details with oddness.
Mm-hmm.
When the time comes to resolve the action of the scene, you will have a choice. You need to make a choice. Every scene is a choice. You can adapt yourself or not. If you decide you're not going to adapt yourself, you're not going to change, then the scene will end poorly for you. Tell us how. Otherwise, you can have a scene end well for you by adapting your character, changing your character somehow. Um, what that means will
Ooh.
depend on the setting, your character, but it's a real physical change, a mutation, a bit of tech attached to your body, an enchantment. You're hacking your body in ways that don't go away. And to do that, draw the thing on your body that represents this extreme change. It could be a thing you're doing now, a change from your time outside the city that you're revealing now, etc. It doesn't
Okay.
have to be like strictly representational. You don't need to draw your magma cannon on your hand that is shaped like a magma cannon. I'm
Yeah.
easygoing, but it's a thought. It's a drawing. The style of your drawing will link you to a faction. You'll have to draw it in a way that matches one of these faction sigils, with the dots, with the waves, with the arrows, or with the sharp corners. Um, Not necessarily that they did the change or benefit from the change, though either or both may be true, but they like it, and they're more in tune with you, and all other factions are less in tune with you because of this change you have made to yourself. And after you've done that, or chosen not to, the scene ends.
So change over time. The style of drawing links you to a faction. Oh, okay. So that's why the sigil things came in. Okay. That all makes
Yeah.
sense. Cool.
So yeah, if you draw something on yourself with lots of tiny dots, then that means those engineer nerds think it's fab.
They're like, that's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
You
got a
put a
new
jetpack
sneaky.
in your leg. That's fantastic. I love
That's
it.
super cool.
All right, so next we'll be jumping in and playing. Do you want to like take a little 5-minute break before we start playing, or you want to jump in?
Oh, that'll actually be, yeah, let me take that for break.
Cool, cool,
All
cool.
right.
All right.
Real quick.
Thanks for hanging out, listeners, and we will see you in about 5-ish minutes
Mm-hmm.
for the marks we leave behind.
It's me. I'm back, and nobody else is invited.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm the big face.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be fair because I'm not the star of the show.
It's me. I'm the star of the show.
Yay!
Welcome to Unplaytested, where it's me, Viditya. That's it.
It's weird that you've been on every episode of every Unplaytested so far, and you just haven't mentioned it beforehand.
The first time that we've allowed you to talk is the thing. Mike's been muted the whole time,
Yeah,
poor guy, and he never knew.
I'm out here just like I'm the entire time. I'm like, can you not like? It's what if it's just like an hour? It's like 2 hours of me going. Am I muted? Can y'all hear me?
Am I? And we're like,
muted?
hey Kevin, thanks for lurking.
It's pretty good. All right. So, let's get into some scenes. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Let's go. So I draw 2.
Draw 2.
I get to pick one
Mm-hmm.
and discard the other. Okay, so the cards. I have 4 and 8. So 4 is the faction has invited, or 4 of clubs and 8 of diamonds. So 4 of clubs is club faction is they're the tough guys. They're the lumberjacks. So lumberjacks have invited people to hear an announcement of some sort. That's pretty fun. Or 8 of diamonds. Diamonds is friends. Yes.
Diamonds is tough.
Diamonds is toughs. Clubs is analysts. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Wow.
Okay.
You know what I'm gonna do? Just for myself. Hold the phone. Because I can't take notes. I'm just gonna diamond.
I should also mention that, like, here where it says what the cards are, it does say what the suits are right below it.
Fuck!
They're on the same page.
Well, I've already started drawing on myself, Lara, so you can't.
Know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have tried to dissuade you from drawing on yourself more.
I
That's
can't
me
believe
not buying into the reason of the piece.
You did the good thing on the document, and I just didn't even look at it.
It is in Viditya's defense under another heading, so you know.
Alex, you don't have to defend me like that. It's okay.
It's the last thing in the document. You must have thought it was a spoiler. Thought I'm gonna saving that one.
I'm saving it.
I don't know what it says, but I'm saving it.
Just refused to read it. Well, I note took them, so there they are.
Oh, good.
Okay, so wait, my club looks like a diamond.
Oh God.
I hate drawing clubs. They make no sense. That shit makes no fucking sense.
That's fair. Yeah. Did we do it dots because clubs are like 3 dots? I don't remember if we were that internally consistent or not when we made these rules.
And what, the diamonds are sharp angles. The spade looks vaguely like an arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of works.
Yeah. And hearts are round and wavy. Yeah. I think we had an amount of continuity there.
I love it.
Game designers, yo.
Those are just funky bushes.
Oh, bushes. Yeah, they totally are. Just funky. I thought you said brushes. Okay. So the 8 of diamonds, so the lumberjacks. You are sharing food with a member of this faction. I'm gonna go with the 4 of clubs because I think the fucking smarty pants. They really need a name.
We just call them the nerds?
The nerds. We can. I'm not gonna say no until like I guess a more appropriate name comes up, but that's what everybody really calls them.
Uh-huh.
So the nerds have invited people to hear an announcement of some sort.
Oh, that's fun. And it makes sense that would be the first thing you see coming into the city.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate this.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Nerds. Okay, so we are in the scene. Imagine a nerd at the scene. As you do, try to do the following: humanize my character, give them the detail that makes them more real. Humanize the faction, specific character, bring back a character from earlier. Make the city weird, strange celebration. Okay, and then eventually I can or cannot make a change to my body. So I walk into the city. I'm kind of there already. I'm a little lost. I think like we'll move to the fact where I'm like, this place has changed a lot, and my house is probably overgrown, or chopped down, or like transplanted somewhere else.
Oh, I like the idea of transplanting. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got to clean up this soil. The soil's kind of dirty, so we're gonna grab these houses and move them somewhere else. And then the nerds are throwing a little festival. I love the idea of little celebrations in the city. So the festival is going to be. I already mentioned like a world's. I like the idea of them being kind of World's Fairy, right? All the different kind of domed cities like come together to do a World's Fair. So it's not a World's Fair, but they're like, come check out this cool thing that we made. Like we're going to be bringing this all around. It's weird. I think like I want to do what kind of weird shit do they do?
Yeah.
They probably do some like bioengineering kind of like.
Oh heck yeah.
You know what? I'm thinking of them like the fucking. I don't remember the faction name. I'm blanking, but in Ravnica, the like
the red blue one,
not the red blue one. That one too. That like they have that vibe a lot, but the
blue green one,
the blue green one. Yeah.
Who are like the evolutionists.
Like, yeah.
Smashing different animals together. I love them. That's my favorite faction.
Oh, absolutely. Of course.
Making a sharktopus. Like,
yeah.
So good.
It's very good. I thought they were super cool. But I imagine them a little bit like that, because this fantasy world is very, floral. Or not floral, like nature focused. So, like, they're probably like, look what we've done, and they like unveil it, and they're like, who wants to try? They're like, we're releasing a new like tonic or something like that. They're releasing like a new like tonic of some kind. Like it's like drink this and it'll help your body. I think that I'll do that's like a major I always like to think about like what's the Bioshock of this world. That's just how my brain works.
Nice.
Is like so I think tonics are probably what it is, or seeds. Is planting seeds in you? That's a lot. That's cool though.
Cool.
That's cool.
That seems really cool.
And it's like different enough from the spores that they're.
That makes you different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like this little like liquid. It's what are those like? Sorry, going off on tangents real quick. What are there's like those drinks that I always see, and they got a bunch of little like weird fucking eyeball looking things in them. They're like
boba
seeds
in a milk tea.
No, not boba, but
the ones with like little jelly pearl things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like in little glass bottles. You find them at like delis and stuff. I see them a lot at Indian stores though, so maybe it's not a universally noticed thing. I hear they're fine. They're just weird to look at. Anyway, I'm imagining that because like I see them and I go, I'm drinking like a bunch of frog eggs. Like that's what it looks like.
Right.
Well, that's what they're selling us. They're like, check this out. We got a new flavor out. It's like radical raspberry. And it gives you, when you drink it, your fucking head explodes into a beautiful flower.
Oh my
Uh,
god, amazing.
yeah, I'm just going off. And so that's like their whole. They're like, we got a new flavor of tonic coming out. Like it's a new seed. When you like here, it's cool and like it's all about high fashion. I guess is gonna be the thing. They're like,
Uh-huh.
this is it. Like you want to be in season. Have we come up with a thing
Literally.
for you? Literal. Oh no, I didn't even think of that was inadvertent. It's good. This is what's gonna happen. And so like I think what I'm doing is I'm kind of like, oh, I can't believe like this is where they're at this because I think again like things are just constantly like rapidly growing and evolving. So it's not like I haven't been here for like generations or ages. It's been like I don't know like 20, 30 years, like enough where you're like, oh, this is what you guys are doing now? You know, like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I remember when it was literally like planting seeds. Like you had to like take seeds inside of you and like water yourself every once in a while. You know what I mean? It was like
Now
you gotta
it's
like
got the
stay
water built
hydrated.
in.
Now you got the water built in. It's like fast acting. Like literally they had the nerds like have like a model, right? And so I think this like fucking what's like a cool I don't know, like an insect person comes up to you, right? And they're like, ooh, what's this? They look like a stick bug. And they're like,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa. And it's like, now watch before your eyes. And they like pop the lid and drink it. And then I think like there's a moment where like they kind of hide themselves, like as a dramatic effect. And then you just see this explosion as they go whoosh. Oh, I'm beautiful. I have a beautiful flower head now. Um,
So
and
is it like a flower hat that grows out of your head, or is it like your head?
oh,
Like,
I
does it
think
change the way that you see and hear, for example?
oh, I wasn't thinking like that drastic in terms of your senses. I was thinking more like kind of like a flower hat, like maybe it turns your hair, like what would be your hair into, uh, into like a giant like petals and roses, like a rose or
Cool.
something like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can really crank the body horror level up and
Oh,
down on this.
100%. Yeah. I imagine like the vibe mix like I like my vibe scale is gonna go from like where on this is like you have your low to middle fantasy scale, right? And, like where are you?
That old
Uh,
familiar scale.
Not middle fantasy, low to high fantasy. Like, it's like the kind of like body horror of the cynics, right? To like maybe like Ghibli-esque like, oh, like you're not this isn't horrifying, it's
It's
fun.
nice,
You're like,
yeah.
oh. Okay, yeah. And then I think like uh everyone's like getting kind of free samples, right? Or they're being asked like, do you want one? Do you want to try it? You want a free sample? You want to do it? And I think I'm gonna make my person or me. I'm gonna make me. I think I'm. Uh, I think I miss home, right? And this like is very quintessential to being here. Like
Aww.
these people, like it's like the city is very open to itself and like to experiences, and like maybe I miss that about like the other places I've been, and it's like oh, like yeah, you're right. Like you'd walk down the street and like people would give you free samples. They would try out like this and that, and like it's very easy. Like open stalls, and every once in a while these nerds will come by and be like, "You want to like." We promise it's fine and it only lasts a week, and like maybe it doesn't always do that, but like you try it, right? Like, and so I think I'm like very gung ho about it. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Hell yeah.
Crack it open, give it a drink, uh, and uh, and then my head just explodes. The head explodes.
First scene, head
Head
explosion.
explodes. End of game.
End of
Woo!
game.
Um,
Into like what's like a good flower?
Does it
I,
look like your family's like generational flower that you're trying to find because like it's what's on your mind?
oh, oh, that's adorable.
that's good.
Yes, I
Now you
love
just have to
that.
decide what that is, which leaves you right back in the same place.
Yes, thank you, Alex. I think
Thank you
it's
for
like
kicking that can out.
I think sorry. I think I kind of want it to be like a big floppy hat almost.
hmm
Uh like it's also like really bright out and it's like a very sunny day and so it's like it like then also turns into like a sun hat with all the
Oh,
petals.
that's
They've
so
got like
good.
big wide petals. Um it's oh my god, it's just violet plume. It's just violet plume but
Yeah.
like not the actual flower that is based off that is like a death stench monster of a
Oh,
flower.
good.
Yeah,
But you got like a couple of real big petals.
yeah, yeah.
Sort of the aesthetic. Nice.
And like the I think like speaking of the generational thing, it's the pattern on the flowers is what's kind of grown
Ooh.
and messed with. So
Oh,
like some
that's so
people,
fun.
yeah, and like you'll go to like show like they're like prize shows where it's like oh look and like mine each petal tells a different part of the Odyssey. You know what I mean or like whatever.
Uh-huh.
And it's like,
That's
wow, that's so
awesome.
cool. And it's like, yeah, each like all the petals are perfectly symmetrical and they look like Jim Belushi. And you're like, wow, how'd you do that? All of these people, the Odyssey and Jim Belushi are now canon in this movie.
hmm
Jim Belushi suck. Is that why I thought of him?
I don't know,
I
actually.
don't
I haven't thought of him in a
recall.
while.
I haven't thought of him in a while either.
Oh, I love the idea that like the way that people in the real world have like little regional like carpet weaving patterns and stuff. People
Mhm.
have that, but for flowers.
But for flowers, yeah. Uh, all right, so I've accepted the thing.
Yes,
Nice.
you now need
Where
to draw something on yourself to represent your change.
now here's the thing: do I go all in and draw on my head?
I mean,
I mean, it's your choice. I can't tell you what to do.
you're the one who introduced your head turning into a flower in the fiction.
That
Is all I'll
was
say.
me. I'll do it.
Do it,
All right,
hero.
all right. Let's see. I'm gonna give. I'm not gonna do like all across my forehead and stuff like that, but I think I'm gonna do like oh Jesus. Okay. All right. I like. I also like don't. I don't do makeup and stuff. Mostly because I'm like because I don't have a lot of great coordination for my head.
Well, fortunately, this is sort of a wibbly wobbly shape anyway.
It is, yeah. Wait, hold up. Dots? I think it's dots.
Dots. If this is something that appeals to the analysts, and it seems like it would.
It seems like it would, yeah.
That's the wrong
Just
direction.
just real quick draw like a pointillism flower on your head.
There we
Using a
go.
camera that is not mirrored.
This is great. Thank you for
That looks
giving the people
very
what they
good,
came
by
here
the
to
way.
see. Yeah,
Drawing
this is. We are so lucky that I am not playing this game right now.
Ooh, would you not draw on yourself?
No, I would just do it poorly. I would definitely do it.
Just. All right. And then
But
we'll
this
Listen,
looks
do.
I am the one
good.
here with the most experience drawing on my face, so I should probably be the one playing. But I'm not.
Next time.
All right, and then I'm gonna give. I have a pink, which isn't gonna look much different, but I am gonna make little spots. Yeah, the fact that it's not mirrored is really
That's wild, yeah.
gunking it up. There we go. I would have thought of like what our family pattern is, but I refuse to draw that right now.
No, that's fine.
Well, because I don't know if I can draw Jim Belushi.
Your family is the Jim Belushi family. Oh boy.
Wait 1 second, my partner's sitting across from me. Hey, Evie.
Huh?
How do I look?
Oh.
All right. So I discard the 8 of diamonds, and then I remove from play the 4 of clubs, right?
Correcto.
Yes. Remove from play the one you use. You should eat
The one
it,
I use.
probably.
No, I like these deck of cards. If you wanted me to eat a deck of cards, you should have told me before. All right, so next scene. So I draw both and then can either choose one of them or the top of the discard.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. It's not like don't draw, discard. All right. So I got 4 of hearts again. So instead of the cool guy or the nerds, it's the friends want to have an announcement. Or the king. Ooh, king of diamonds.
Oh.
Meet with a symbolic member of the lumberjacks. I think I gotta do that.
That sounds fantastic.
Yum yum hammer paw.
Yum Yan owns you all.
That's a Kipo reference that you're going to appreciate very much when you get to it.
Oh my god. Let's see. Who do I mean? So a symbolic member of the lumberjacks, which I think is really interesting for like such a kind of grounded
Yeah.
action.
Who do they have for like a figurehead or a mascot? That's really
I
interesting.
Feel like my instinct is it's just like the oldest one, right?
Oh,
He's
that's
not the boss,
good.
but he's
Yeah.
the oldest of the lumberjacks.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I actually really like that. Because it definitely means like, oh, like okay, I can't do everything, but like I can't like physically be a lumberjack anymore, but I speak for them or I help them around. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I still eat the flapjacks.
All right. There's somebody help. Sorry.
That's okay. That's what it sounded like to me.
They're done. Couldn't think. Maybe it's a member of the Titan says the oldest lumberjack. I love that. I think as I'm going around, so that the intro to the scene is like, I go to my old house, I find it, or I've already gone to my old house and they're like they've moved it, and so like I'm walking around, and I think like my direction was somebody I asked like hey what happened to this, what happened to the house that used to be here, what happened to the little garden that was here, and they were like it got moved. Like it was transplanted somewhere else because we had to retill the soil. Like the soil was bad, we had to redo it. I'm like, okay, where can I find that? And they say, go talk to the lumberjacks. They're the one who take care of all that. Right? Go to the regional section of the lumberjacks. Like, leave me alone. I don't know who this person is. They were probably moving boxes or something. Didn't have time for my shit. So I go to the lumberjacks place, and let me think. What does it look like? It's gotta be. I'm trying to. Okay, so make the city weird. This is my first part. It's gotta be inside of a big tree. I feel like
Heck
that's.
yeah. Is this the load-bearing tree spoken of earlier?
Wow. That'd be great. Like their kind of symbolic place is a big tree, and what if? I mean, I think I'm gonna go. Even though all this is very like trees and shit, I keep pulling from sea-based stuff. But I think this guy, he's like, okay, in Pirates of the Caribbean, on
Huh?
Davy Jones' ship, there's the dude who's like fused with the ship. Like he's been there for so long. I think it's like a
Yeah.
similar guy. Like he's like kind of there. Like he's become more or less one with the tree. Uh,
That's very
and like
cool.
that's also why he's like, hey, I like to take care of I like help people who come in and like why not? And you're like, oh, okay, cool. It's probably because you can't really
Right there. So yeah.
leave. And he's like, I love it. This is what I do. I get to do it. I'm retired, but I do this for fun. And you're like, you can't move. You have to do it. It's either that or you're just awkwardly hanging out in this space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So what's our meeting like? I think we're like, I'm like, hey, what's up? I need to figure out where this old house and garden bed went. And it's like, well, when was the last time you were there? And we kind of just talk about like first is kind of logistics, and he's like, all right, 1 second, let me go through our records. And I think, oh, what does it look like to go through the records of a place like this? Like, are they
Ooh.
like because it can't just be like files, like it's got to be something like
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's like tree rings, like really thinly
yeah.
sliced, and it's like they're keeping it on like it's recorded in the rings of like this like paper thin slice of a tree that like they just so carefully sawed.
Oh yeah.
I'm picturing like in that weird old like I don't know, Goofy or something cartoon where he's like slicing a bean into the
Oh
tiniest
yeah.
slices. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. And I think like you like place it on something like it like kind of turns
Yeah,
into
yeah,
like
yeah.
oh okay like here's from this time and then you place it on. Well, there's like kind of a mix of there's magic and technology involved.
So
We
it's
have
kind of like a library microfiche thing too,
I
right?
think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
awesome.
Microtriche.
huh?
Microtriche. Huh?
Micro Treesh. Yeah, there it
Our
is.
arborofiche.
We've destroyed this word.
Yeah.
uh,
Dendrofiche. There we go. That works pretty
there we
good.
go. That's very good. Yeah. Um, and ooh, so it's like, and it's also technology. They slide it into a thing. It like you can kind of look through it, but I think it also like there's a what's a weird. I'm gonna say like this might be a lot, but like what if instead of a printer
Uh-huh.
or like a screen, right? It's like a spider that's like constantly kind of
Yes.
recreating a web. Um, and it look like it's like very good quality. Like it's not like entirely like oh here's like a spider web. It's like a very advanced kind of like almost like it's weaving kind of like pointillism, you know,
Yeah.
or like yeah. And it's like okay, like let's see what's going on, and it's like and you're like nope, and then it's like yeah. Uh, there we go. And this old man is like, what? Let's look and see, because that's how old men sound.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what am I trying to get? So I'm trying to get what I'm trying to get out of the scene is a location.
And you have an opportunity to change yourself permanently somehow. And this
Yeah.
could be a thing you do, or it could be a thing that is done to you as part of this process.
Could be how the information is transmitted.
I was kind of thinking that. I'm like,
That's cool.
What if it's like, I like to think. Okay, so yeah, to I guess this will work with like, what do I look like? And I think people in this, in at least our city or like of this world with all these little dome city, like I think like a common thing between them is probably trees. Like trees are like no matter what biome you're in, you're gonna have trees. Is the major thing. So well that's just a part of the world. But I'm trying to justify this, but really what I'm trying to say is that everybody just has an arm that's wood. They just all have like a wooden limb.
Oh yeah, of course everybody's got a wooden limb.
I'm trying to justify this, and I'm like, no, screw it. All I want is everyone's got a wooden limb, and that's where they keep all their shit. It's like you like inscribe into it, and then you can like sand it down to clear it off, or like whatever.
Oh, that's very good.
Right? And maybe it grows too. So it's like you gotta. That's their trunk. Oh, that's pretty good. Why do you just have like a wooden torso? Everybody's got a trunk. You got like kind of like a wooden arm. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. And so that's my thing. And it's got a bunch of like directions and stuff on it also, or it's got already a bunch of information on it. But then I'm like, oh, okay, thanks, old man. I need to know where it is. And it's like, oh, it's like, oh, this is really weird. Like, sorry, like they changed that quite a while ago, and I'm not doing my old man voice. They changed that quite a while ago. It seems as though I don't know where it moved after the first one, but you should check its first location. Like seems to have moved to this district, but that district was recently moved to here, except that was then split due to the fucking Cybertruck people needed to make room for their loop. So the paperwork is kind of messy.
Yeah.
So it's probably best you just go and maybe get some locals accounts of what happened. I'm
That's
like, thanks, old man. Thanks, tree man. And I like stick my hand into like underneath the spider's web, like kind of screen, or or maybe it's a different apparatus. So he grabs it and then he puts it into like a thing, and it looks like a mill, right? But like you stick your hand into it and it like kind of mills your arm.
Wow.
And I'm like, nice. I got my information.
That's really good.
All right, I'm gonna mill my arm down.
Oh no.
No, Cindy, trust me.
It's okay this way.
It may sound horrifying, but everything's we're currently on the Ghibli side of the spectrum.
Of the body horror spectrum.
Where it's
what you
whimsical.
recognize is that his arm is being milled, but it's made of wood.
It was already made of wood, so it's okay.
It's okay. It's made of wood.
It's made of wood.
You can't hurt wood.
Yeah.
Being told this by someone who is at this point mostly wood, so like he would know. See, if it was me, I would have said that you have to put the wooden microfiche onto your arm, and then the spider bites it into you, and that like injects you with the information.
Oh,
that would have been creepier.
That's pretty rad, though. Definitely a different vibe.
A different vibe, I would say, yeah.
I feel like in writing this, we underestimated how much body horror potential we had.
Oh, I didn't.
Wait, yeah. Yes, every step you either. By the way, here's my little milling.
Oh yeah.
I just kind of drew little lines on myself,
That's great.
as if it was like.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sound it makes.
It's the sound of a mill.
I don't know if you've ever been to a mill before. It was spot on.
See, the thing that I like about it is, and I believe I said this in the episode, so I stand by it, could be body horror, could be body euphoria. You get to decide what you're making yourself into, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you end up changed in a bad way, or changed in a good way, or kind of both? It's up to you to find out.
So far, we got
Yeah.
a cool flower hat out of this.
We
got
have
a
like
cool
a
flower
cool
hat.
flower hat. Well, it's not even a hat; it's just our head. It's
It's
the top
just
of
your
our
head, yeah.
but it acts as a cool little like sun hat. Which I don't know. I can't really wear hats. I have too much hair. So in a sense, that is euphoria, body euphoria,
Yeah.
because I look cute in a sun hat. A
Oh,
thing
you
that
would.
I've never tried. I think I would,
Yes.
actually. A sun hat I could do. I've always wanted to
Mhm.
be a hat guy. I went through a phase in college. Like by phase, I mean a month where I like really tried to be a hat guy.
Oh, that's rough, buddy. It was
Didn't
just
work.
like an inch off your head.
It was.
You're like, so your hat floats. Is that
Is that the thing?
deliberate?
Or like I put it on and like all of my hair fucking pops up. It's fine.
That's amazing.
I'm not mad. All right. So, king is out. Let's draw two more. Ooh. Okay, spades we haven't seen yet.
Oh yeah, the
Seven of
Corpo
spades.
sorcerers.
Oh, perfect. And we're going to their weird loop. Part of this faction's territory is dealing with the aftermath of some natural disaster. Oh, perfect.
Amazing.
Perfect. Well, wait, what was the other one, though? So, Nine of Hearts. We haven't seen the Friends yet either. Members of the faction are playing a game. You can join in. Ooh, that's really fun, though.
If it goes on the discard
It
pile,
goes-
you can always pick it next.
Yeah, that's very smart. All
It's
right,
game design, baby.
yeah, I like that a lot, actually. The being able to kind of, but don't worry if you can always go back to the previous choice. I like a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna do the corpos. Part of the faction territory is dealing with the aftermath of some natural event. All right, so we're gonna start with the seed setting again. We got there was. So it's what did I call it? Like the one loop. It's like so
The super loop.
yeah. So again, aesthetically. So we're talking about aesthetics. A lot of the world is jungly, and there's a bunch of like kind of biotech, but the sorcerers are more industrial tech. So like they're the ones that are kind of encroaching with industrial stuff. Not all of them is bad. Like this isn't necessarily like all industrialism in this world is bad. It's just like you're using it to it's various pipeline shit. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of stuff. So what's happening here is that you can clearly see that there's like just trees that were cut off, and then you got this kind of monorail looking fucker going all around it, right?
Uh-huh.
And you're like, what's the point of this? I mean, I guess it helps. Like it's technically public transit, but also like, what was the big yank?
Just had to remind our new viewers of the big yank.
I forgot about the big yank. Okay, so like we're kind of walking down. I think it's like a mix of. I hate giving these people like something cool.
They can contain multitudes.
They can contain multitudes, yeah. Because also I think like public transit is also very overly bureaucratic, so I think it kind of works. I'm a big fan. I love.
Laura and I are frantically clicking that, trying to put it up.
Oh my god!
Oh.
It's so good. I really love well, like highways. I think like aesthetically, it's really beautiful when like like I love highways that still have like neighborhoods running alongside it, or even like subways or like the train lines that run above, and you still have like all of your buildings over it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's just something really beautiful about kind of the rays of sunlight that kind of beam down and hit just the store facades and everything else, or like all that whatnot. So I have a very vivid image of that, and I think that's like kind of what's going on. So you have like this very like industrially made like track of whatever this like tram is, but you also have like trees and stuff like that growing over it, and again like they've basically just like cut a straight line through a bunch of stuff. And I think the lumberjacks were really mad because they're like, we could move these or move around them, like build around them, and then the sorcerers are like, no, it's just quicker, like this is how like our magic works this way. They probably like summoned it, right? They're like, here's our spell, boom, and then like a
Oh
track kind of
man,
starts forming, right?
that's cool.
And it's like, no, our magic doesn't work that way. Like we can only construct in straight lines or curved lines or whatever. And it
Right,
would
they
just be too
gotta math it out.
yeah, it's like it costs us too much, and like we don't have the resources or whatever. So just like chop these houses down, or it's not even like they're not even we're not even chopping them down. We're just giving them a haircut, basically. You know what I mean? Like just like, who needs a 2-story house when you could just have a 1-story house? Like, boy, I hate that. So that's where we are. Except they're experiencing a 7. They're experiencing an aftermath of some natural disaster. I think to give us a victory, this is just like a tree has just started growing into it, and like it's just
Amazing.
kind of it, and stuff like that. So you're like, okay, yeah. So like clearly you did something bad because the trees are also like, nah, fuck you. We're just gonna like you didn't understand the ramifications of building this thing.
That's great. They thought if they smashed through the tree trunk, it would be like destroyed. And it's like, no, it keeps growing really fast. It's like lifting it into the air.
Like you don't understand how our trees work.
Yeah.
How?
We all stand the tree.
Yeah.
We stand a tree. So I'm not necessarily. I guess I can meet somebody from this faction. I think you do see like a sorcerer who's there, like arguing with lumberjacks.
Yeah. What's their fashion like? How is their like rank indicated?
Oh, I want to give them robes. Just
You gotta.
I think they just got wizard robes, and they're like.
I just had a really stupid idea.
Hit me.
So what if?
Good idea.
So what if their rank and what powerful spells they have access to is indicated by their collar height? They all have like Doctor Strange ass fucking like vampire collars, and it just gets taller and taller and taller. The more powerful you are.
Oh, I love it. Until eventually they kind of just become hoods, or like cowls. Like like my collar just
folding over. It can't hold itself up anymore.
Oh, I love that so much. I think it's I might like add to that where I think because I was also thinking like maybe they just have like dangly like jingly bits like kind of not necessarily metals like in the sense of like metals, but I meant like I was thinking like ingots almost or just
the
metals like kind of shingling. And I think like that's a part of it. Like you have them on your collar. And you have to keep growing. You have to keep adding more to keep adding more shingle, like metal to yourself.
And then that shows like which metals that you have mastery over, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so, yeah, I've mastered lead, so I just surround my head with it.
It's fine. It's okay. I drank a potion where lead. I now photosynthesize lead. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, so this dude is just kind of, or like, this person is just like hanging around, like, Oh my god, I can't believe the asbestos master did not last very long. um, this sorcerer guy's like, excuse me, we have to fix this. Like, how I can't perform the proper rites without first like clearing the debris. Um, and the lumberjacks, like, there's probably this like cool, I'm thinking shark person.
Yeah.
Cool.
Shark person is like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it started growing, and code says we had to wait for the growth to, like, work its way out, because it's, if we cut it off now, it's like a hydra, two more grow out from it. So you gotta wait for it to kind of stop, reach its adulthood, and then we can move it. And I think it's just like this yelling match that's going on. And so I had to like kind of just walk up, and I'm like witnessing this, like, should I interrupt? I have questions, I think
And you can feel free to like fast forward through the details of the conversation as much as you need to, right?
oh, I should, yeah.
Or do it in extreme detail with voices.
Or that.
So the shark person's voice is like, I'm a shark person.
That's exactly what sharks sound like.
That's what yeah, I'm doing a great. I've been really thinking I gotta do an hour session with Aaron Container Science.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I gotta book one of those. And the sorcerer person is like, I need you. No, that's just the old person.
Because you know the sorcerer.
Ooh, I need you to fix this right now. Okay.
Okay, that's exactly what Elon Musk sounds like. You got it.
Anyway, I think we have like I bump into them and I go, excuse me, I need to know some things. I'm on an urgent quest. Would you happen to know, where you moved all this stuff? And so we have this conversation. I think I will fast forward the conversation a little bit, because I get bogged down in the detail. This is why I don't play solo journaling games, because
it takes too long. That's fair.
I'm like, I gotta think of all this shit.
Mm-hmm. Most people don't play solo journaling games live on the air in front of people, I guess.
That's true.
It puts a time constraint on that is a little unusual for the form. So
I will say, I also love just saying shit until eventually one of y'all go, but what if?
Oh, good. I'm glad we can help.
I feel like, sorry for another small tangent, but I feel like a child who's like telling a story to just like failure. I'm like, and then they did this, and you're like, yeah, huh? And I'm like, no, hear me out. What if?
That's good. That's lovely.
Oh my god! Actually, I didn't watch that episode. I listened to that episode. I gotta do that.
That's a good one.
I'm sure.
Look at you plugging us.
Because Aaron does almost all the work that episode. He was just like, I don't know, I'm not sure, like, I don't know if I have any ideas. Anyway, and then, like, an entire game falls out of his mouth, and we're just, like, sitting there, like...
Desperately trying to keep notes.
So good.
He entered just a fugue design state. It was, frankly, terrifying.
Yeah, we all wish and fear that we will enter the design fugue.
So I think like okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna weird detail. I think the metallurgist sorcerer kind of is like, okay, you know what, like, fine, like, I think we have some records, like, if these lumberjacks couldn't help you out, then like, and then like kind of digs around and like pulls out like a little ingot, like I I keep forgetting that ingots don't need to be what they look like in Minecraft, but can also just be like thin little sheets of metal.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, all right, and then I think like does a thing where like kind of squishes it, like it's solid, but then they kind of metal magic it and then toss it up, and it like does like a map, like now it's like liquid metal in the air and does a cool little thing, and is like, this is what like these are our records. If you see, it kind of does little spinny bits and everything moves around. All right. It seems as though it was reincorporated into a neighboring district, but that district is now a swamp. So good luck. And I think like if you want the details, I kind of want to reject a change.
Nice, yeah.
And they're like, and I think they do the same thing where they offer to be like, here, if you want the records, you can have them. But for them, instead of like carving into my wooden arm, it would be like, oh my god, it would be fracking. It would be like filling the carvings with like new kind of information, but it would be like invisible to me, and I'm like, no, I think I got it.
I'm good. I remember it.
I remember it. You actually weren't that much help to begin with, kind of thing. Like all you told me was it's not here anymore, and I knew that. So thanks,
Should have gone to the party with the Spore friends.
I should have.
Except, it's not an ace either, but that's fine.
Oh yeah, wait. So is it each ace?
Each ace gets you closer.
A stroke of luck that leads you to what you seek. Yeah. All right. So let's draw again. I have a heart. So I can either, members of the faction are playing a game you can join in, or Queen, meet with a powerful member of the faction. What's the 9 of diamonds? The diamonds are the toughs, so either that or the lumberjacks are playing a game.
Well, man, lumberjack games are probably also fun.
They probably are.
Yeah.
I could kind of, maybe I can probably cheat. I'm gonna cheat your game. Right in front of the
well, thanks for letting us know. Yes.
Yeah.
Powerless to stop you.
Don't tell them. But I think I'm gonna meet with a powerful member of the faction. But whoa, looks like they're hanging out, playing a game with some other members of the faction. Who'd have thought? Wow.
Amazing.
No, I'm taking this seriously. You're gone.
I'm Viditya now.
Tutors do not prosper.
I can't believe it. I've lost all goodwill with Unplaytested.
I said earlier you should come on the show. Offer rescinded. Think you can play with us?
You've made a powerful enemy today.
As long as what you want is one very specific thing. Just to come on our podcast. It's the only thing we have power over. But it's absolute. So far, only Daniel Fox is banned from coming on Unplaytested.
That's good.
And probably Anish Kapoor cannot come on either. He knows what he did.
He knows what he did. Just in case you're listening, Anish Kapoor. Anish Kapoor is a frequent lurker at the Unplaytested stream. Right?
Never says anything.
Never shouts you out too. He's a bad lurker.
Just hides in the extremely dark darkness.
All right, okay, so we got our fungus friends. right? They're playing a game, and this is where I also go on a small tangent because I like coming up with in-world games.
Yep.
In-universe games are a lot of fun. So what do okay, here's an unsaid rule that I was thinking about with the fungus people.
Mm.
Uh, they can all communicate with each other. I think it becomes a pseudo hive mind. Not like your mind is perpetually open to everybody. You still have your own mind and then the fungus network kind of thing is what I'm thinking. Because I don't like the idea of people who can opt into this like losing individuality or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Like I think
yeah.
that doesn't need to be that. So it's like it's kind of like everyone's on the same family plan. Uh, so so I think like the games they play, they don't. Okay, there's two things. I'm going to ask your help with this.
Mm.
Do they never play bluffing games because there's no point in playing bluffing games, or do they play bluffing games because it's so much harder to play in? That one.
That one. They
Okay.
play
Yeah,
bluffing
definitely that
games.
one.
Because they're like, I can read your mind, and it's like, or can you?
Did I
Like,
want you to read that
so,
from my
yeah.
mind?
So I think it's like this kind of. I'm imagining, kind of like an Alice in Wonderland like Tea Party esque game of
Mm-hmm.
like one or like everyone saying just nonsensical phrases, but either if you know the game, you know what these phrases mean,
Mm-hmm.
or you're like signaling to like teammates or whatever things within it. So it's like, oh, I see like yesterday I was visited by a fox, and the fox gave me a daffodil. And then somebody else goes, a daffodil? Don't I hear those are out of season this time of year? And then somebody goes, and then somebody like plays a card, right? And then like another person goes, and then I think a caller maybe goes, the season is winter. And then like and then somebody, and then everybody places their cards down and then like rotates their hands. And then somebody goes, tomorrow I will be visited by a raven, right? And it's like this weird, it's like, you're
Yeah.
like, you hear patterns, you notice there's something about this game, but like, it's kind of what I imagine people looking at like poker for the first time is like, where you're
Oh,
like,
how we just like,
excuse me, yeah, or like like Texas Hold'em, especially where like you have the spread and like the like they're like, oh, like two straights, ace is high, this is
mm-hmm.
a whatever, and I'm like, oh, yeah, what the fuck am I
That's
listening to?
awesome. So what's the climactic moment where the very powerful faction member like wins the game or tips the tide in their team's favor or
Oh,
something?
absolutely. I think like we go there and so I'm going there to get some permission. I'm like, hey, this is now like a swamp. Do you know what happened to this place? But like I'm just kind of stumbling through and I find maybe it's it's even more like kind of Alice in Wonderlandy where it's a like a garden, right? And I'm like,
Mm.
oh, maybe this is the garden. Like maybe they actually didn't move it. Like maybe it's right here. And I walk in and it's all these people with funguses and shit growing out of them. They're playing this weird game, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And then I think there's somebody at there's somebody who's like, excuse me, if you want to play, the round is almost over. You'll have to wait, right?
Nice.
Man,
That's
now I
good.
want to make this game because this
Yeah.
game's rules.
It only works if you're a telepath. Is the problem.
You're right. Shit. um, but yeah, the guard, or not the guard, but like the I don't know the person at the desk who's all like, please wait for your table.
The
Um,
adjutant.
yeah, the round is almost over, and I think like the powerful member was the caller, and then somebody says something like, I think it's like, um, I think somebody like has a hand of cards and then like places like 2 cards down, and then another person across from them says, "And dinner was served," and then some people just go, "Fuck!" Like they're just like, "God damn it!" And like everyone kind of claps. There's like an audience, I guess. And the powerful member who I think like I don't know my funguses that well. Otherwise, I would give more examples. But I imagine like I kind of like the idea that they have like this dress, but the dress is like pseudo organic because it comes down like the mushrooms that grow on bark that kind of become little plateaus. So it's like that, and it like grows down. So it looks like this very like elegant gown that's got all these different like layers to them.
Cool.
And she like steps down from her collar chair. I guess the collar sits in a high chair, and is like, "It is my turn to play." And so everyone's like, "Ooh, ooh!" I'm like, that's a powerful member. And I think like I'm like, I just want some information. I just want to know if this is the garden. Like, is my flower here? And they're like, that sounds like. It's like, listen, you like, don't tell people what your auntie is until you sit down at the table. And it's like, what?
You're
like,
accidentally.
Yeah, it's like that sounds like a bid, and I'm like, that's not a bid. Like, what's everyone else's bids? And it's all like, I wish to know where my childhood house is now. And I'm like, what are you? Excuse me. And it's like, winner gets to know where their childhood house is. I guess I'm playing. And then we just kind of play this game, and it's awful, right? Like I'm sitting there going like, the red brown fox beats with the crow at sundown, and they're like, you can't make that move without paying a dewdrop token. Like, what? But I think that the powerful member is again, I guess this is like a fun story, right? Like this is kind of a whimsical fun story. I think the powerful member is like having fun, like they're like, I always win at this, right? I guess it's like I always win at this, and I can never tell if it's because, or sorry, it's not they can never tell, and I can always tell it's because everyone's afraid. They don't want to like make me lose, but you have brought such a wonderful unpredictability to the game that I can't even tell. Like it's like this is the first time that I feel like I have to actually think about my next round, And then everybody at the table kind of like, because they know that they only think one, like they don't have to think about the next round. They just kind of play willy nilly, and eventually will win. Everyone kind of like, you're right. Final sundown. Well, thank you. You're a wonderful audience member. I think they're like, this has been a blast, and like I think they lose, like or no, I don't know if it's more fun if they lose or they win, but they're like, this is the first time I've had to actually try to win.
Maybe it's something with like they like switch the teams around so that they're on a team just with you.
Oh, that's a lot of fun, yeah. And it's like you're it's like technically like now I'm playing at a disadvantage. And I'll still win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a good time. And I think the powerful member, the royalty or whatever they are, like the club leader. I imagine this is like a bridge club. It's like that same kind of vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're like, well, technically we won, because you're on my team, so you get to know about your house. And I'm like, is is it still here? And everyone goes, and then they look at my arm and they're like, nope, this isn't it. Like, we don't have that flower. I think it's more, maybe it's less like anticlimactic. It's more like, well, this is our garden. You can check out our garden, like, see what's there. It has had flowers from many generations of people and like various other, like, seeds get tossed around everywhere. So maybe you'll find your flower here. It's like, no, I don't see it. Like, well, where are you looking? And it's like, I don't know. It's like, who knows where it is now? And it's like, well, like, maybe you should go check out. Well, it's like, good luck on your journey.
Yeah. I'm curious if they proposition you to join the Friends.
Yeah, I mean, if you join a hive mind, it's
gotta.
like everybody will be looking.
Right.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
How invaluable for your search.
Ooh. I think I deny it again. But it's because like, it's not like I wasn't intrigued. I was like, oh, that sounds lovely, actually. Like, you all seem very nice and very fun, and it'd be nice to, be able to stay in touch. Basically, it's like, instead of like, let's exchange phone numbers, it's like, you want me to plant a spore in your body?
Right.
Fungal group chat. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
But I'm like not going to be here, right? Like, I'm here specifically to find this, and like the spore would not. Oh wait, I'm convincing myself. Well, hold up. So I think this is like, but the spore would die off, like, as soon as I had to leave to go back to my new home or whatever. Right? Like, it could not sustain itself in a climate outside of this one. And I think they go, oh, like, that makes sense, and it's sad when one of us passes, and like, we don't want that to happen. But how about, and they like hand me, I think it's like, here's a temporary one, right? It's like basically they're giving me a cell phone, right? Like, this is like I guess if they're all cell phones, then this is like a beeper, right?
It's got very limited capabilities.
Yeah, but like, we can contact you if we need to, and you can. And then, like, it'll also tell you where the nearest member of us is, so you can, like, pay phone it.
That's so good.
But of course, it still needs to have like a life. Still relies on a life force. So it's like, we can still implant it on you, but it's like detachable. Like, it won't die with you or whatever. So I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to give me a little thing, and I'm going to say, yeah, that sounds great. Like, why not? I'm gonna put it. Oh, that's very good. Portobello. I'm gonna do that. I like elbow. I was thinking about where to put it. Let's put it on my elbow.
The draw on your own elbow challenge.
All right. Portobello are just big. So
yeah.
Fortunately, portobellos are pre-equipped with wide curves, so they are.
They're good.
Perfect for our friends.
Oh, am I going to connect this? Oh, shit, I connected it. I was not expecting that to happen.
Nice. You're too good at this.
And then, boop. Doop.
You didn't get to the page that says you need to lick every draw. It's impossible now. You can't win the game.
You can't win the game.
Licking your own forehead was already going to be really hard.
It's the bad ending. There it is. There's my little guy.
Nice.
And I'm like, nice, cool.
I love that this faction is like, sort of a bunch of equals because they're all like networked up together. And so the way they decide on their status is by playing this really complicated game they made up. That's like super fun. It's like, no, it's not like somebody's the king. Somebody's just really good at fox poker.
Oh, it's I love it.
I think this faction is, what if the Borg were just chill as hell?
What if they were chill as hell?
You don't worry about it. Join the collective or don't. It's fine.
Yeah.
Tea?
You want a trial membership of the collective?
That's what I love. You want to just give it a go? That's how they get you,
That's how they get you.
They bring you in with their fun games and their cucumber sandwiches, and next thing you know, you got spores in your brain, and it's okay.
And it's okay. All right, let's draw.
Gotta be aces in this deck somewhere.
That's why I wanna try and find at least one ace.
I thought when we were making this game, I was like, is it gonna take way too long to get to an ace? Let alone all 4 aces? We'll find out!
Let's find out.
Let's
I want
all
to
draw
cheat.
two and pick one.
I want to cheat and look to see how far an ace is.
That's fair. We're at the 2-hour mark, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, okay, perfect. So we'll do a quick scene, and then. All right, wait. Who haven't I interacted with that? Everyone. I've interacted with everyone. Okay, that's
Yeah. Nice.
So I have either 3 of clubs, so more nerds, or 5 of spades, so more sorcerers. So the 3 of clubs is the faction is fighting another power in the city. Get involved or stay safe. Ooh, that's exciting. And 5 is there's a celebration. What is being celebrated?
Oh god, do we want to know what the sorcerers are celebrating?
Yeah, oh, wow.
Oh, I kind of do.
I kind of
Okay.
do.
Yeah. And this could be a quick one, too, because it's like a celebration and maybe like, I don't actually want to go. So it's just me, like, kind of, again, I'm aimlessly walking around the city now going, like, where the fuck is my goddamn house? Where's my flower? I still don't even know where it used to be. And meta-wise, I still finding my house isn't even step 1. Like, we're just finding my house is just step 1.
Right.
So I think what they're celebrating is. Ooh, would it be weird if they celebrate the big yank?
It
Oh
would
my
be super
god.
weird, but super appropriate.
Yeah. They're like.
Happy Yank Day, one and all.
Is it on the like 1 year, on the anniversary?
Yeah, I think it just like happens to be. I'm like, wow. What do you know? And again, it's like been so many generations that maybe it's like it's not super like taboo to do it, right? It's like, okay, that's a part of global, like that's literally like history.
Right.
But it's like nobody's happy about it. But also like we have a full civilization. This is like post-apocalyptic, right? So it's like, okay. And I think the sorcerers spin it, right? Like they the sorcerers are like, they're not like, hooray, we ruined the world. They're more like, we celebrate the day that we reached a peak of excellence, of magical excellence, right? They're like,
I just want to throw out a real quick comment. If this is a day in which we are sort of reframing what was an act of wanton destruction as kind of a celebration of achievement, then it's not really a Yanksmas, it's more of a Yanksgiving.
Wow.
It is a yes.
We all sit around a table, everyone has a bowl of their favorite metal to eat.
We tell the story of the first Yanksgiving and just leave out a lot of details.
We eat a slime mold that comes in a very specific shaped can. It keeps the shape of the can when you dump it out, and then some people like don't get that because they didn't get the canned version.
Lord.
You have to eat a type of bug that everyone agrees is not particularly good, but like it's just tradition. It's a little dry.
That's the thing. I don't get it. So the celebration, they're not celebrating the end of the world, but they're celebrating like, wow, can you believe that one of us did something so great? Like it's like the greatest spell ever cast.
Yeah.
And isn't that cool? Like we're celebrating like a marvel of technology.
Right.
I think they're like it'd be like the equivalent of like celebrating when like the modern computer was first invented.
Oh
It's
god, I
like
thought you were gonna say the atom bomb.
no, oh my god, because I mean, but it kind of is.
And
It's
he
more
said,
like
"I am become death," and we all remember that day fondly.
um, yeah, we like celebrate Oppenheimer, like,
Oh,
and he's all like, no,
oh
please,
no, no!
no.
I'm sorry I said that cool quote. I'm sorry I made it cool.
I thought I should have made it cool. So this scene, I think, is just like these sorcerers kind of, and it's like cool, and I think like some of the locals are like, yeah, this is fucked, but like
The
they got
food's
some
good, so
the food's great. Yeah, like they're like, we love the food, and also like it's one of the few times where like the sorcerers aren't like awful, like they're like, or at least they're like, hey, like we're gonna put on a show, and you get to see cool like oh, like metal bending, you know what I mean? Like they're doing cool metal shit, and it's like fun and games and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, all right, but yeah. I think about it like, well, it's a little bit like Thanksgiving where you're like, okay, but I like seeing my family. Like, it's like, or some people are like, well, when's the like we get to eat a bunch of food, I guess I can't necessarily complain about that. So that's kind of what's happening. And I think I'm like, this is in poor taste. And so just to kind of like, I think the scene is a lot of and you see because I want to touch on well, I've humanized the faction because I made them have fun carnival games that they've invented for this. Um, they invented the deep fryer solely for this event.
deep fried bug.
Yeah, they're really into deep fry. Yeah.
Oh, is it that you have to fry it in like a certain metal? Like you have to heat up a metal to be
Ooh.
super molten, and then you just like dunk it in there real quick.
Ooh. Oh, that's gunky. And a lot of people are like, can we eat this? And they're like, yeah.
It's a thin, just crunchy crust on it.
Oh, it's like the equivalent of gold foil. Right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, should I be eating this? And they're like, it's edible.
It's technically edible.
It's technically edible. You'll pass it. Like, you know. I think the Mercury Creek is a beautiful tradition.
Oh. I mean, I'm not saying
11th level metal.
of the deadly metals I would eat for the aesthetic. Mercury's right up there, right?
It kind of is, yeah. You get like gemstone candy. Like they take just like rubies and shit, but then they like cast magic on it, and they're like, "Look, now it's candy."
Oh, that's
And
fun.
I think a bunch of people are like, "Oh my god, that's real wealth," and we're just eating it. uh,
Can you turn it back? No.
no, it's candy now. You're like, wow, you really don't understand this, do you? Um, yeah, and I think that's maybe what happens is I go around and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, this is in poor taste, but I got me a mercury fried Rice Krispie treat and a ruby lollipop, and you know what? This'll be my lunch.
Uh-huh.
Who tries? What tries to change my body? I think. Oh my god, am I gonna draw on my face again? I was gonna say like somebody's like face paint, like they're just like, you want to get your face painted, like, and I was just thinking about carnival shit.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, nah, and they're like, are you sure? It's really cute, and like
You get a portrait of the sorcerer who broke the world, Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi. I think
painted. Is it going to be painted in molten metal so it will harden and then just stay there for weeks, months, years?
oh no.
You'll have a molten metal kitty face.
Holy shit. I love that actually. I was gonna be like they're like the way they incorporate metal is through pigment. So it's like everything they use is like cadmium and shit like that.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but I love but I would be like, no, I'm okay. And there's just people going around who have like these intricate fucking like metal masks on.
Yeah.
It's like weirdly like a masquerade, like you get yourself like a cool, and like some people just have like these like really intricately like wireframe kind of
Mm-hmm.
shit. And you're like, this is kind of rad. Um, but I think I'll say no, mostly because I don't want to. Well, I don't want to draw all that on my face.
You get a little one.
I can get a little one. I think I might do the thing where it's like I don't want to. I don't want to make my face into a butterfly. Just put like a butterfly on my cheek. Kind
Yeah.
of thing. What is their thing? It's arrows, right?
Arrows.
Um, I think it's like they're like, here, we'll do a thing. Like, get what about a root system, right? And it's like, oh, it's beautiful. It's kind of like a thing, like it's like a tree growing out of you. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, yeah, I'll get like a fun little like twig and branch and like little leaf sticking out. And they're like,
Nice.
cool, yeah, we'll do it.
That's great.
All right, I'll draw that on my list. Okay. Here we go. Let's do this. Oh, wrong direction.
Welcome to Viditya's makeup tutorial section of the show.
I'll figure it out. Why can't I go up?
And we're blending.
All right, maybe if I draw like this and go up. That is the wonkiest line.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Oh my god.
The tension is unbearable.
Where am I going?
Butterfly.
Oh no. Well, there it is.
There it is.
Okay, here's what it is. It's a little butterfly. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You said not to give a butter, and they were like, "Well, we did. I only know how to do butterflies. The options were a lie."
I'm ruining it more.
I see that.
It sure is, buddy. Fuck it. This is it. I don't know how else to work it out.
It's an abstract,
yeah,
symbolic representation of a butterfly.
It's the soul of a butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what a butterfly's soul looks like.
Oh
They've taken pictures with their soul cameras.
They would have that. No, that's something that the nerds came up with. They were like, you know what we need? Something to take a picture of the soul. And we're like, do
Yeah, the sorcerers just have a spell that can yank the soul out of a butterfly.
That's what it is, yeah.
Oh boy.
Because there's a lot of magic that needs butterfly souls, so you really want to automate that process. You're doing it one at a time. You're gonna beat it. It's gonna take you an hour.
It's just gonna take you an hour. It's gonna be awful. I fucking love that. Okay. So I think this might be the last card draw.
Let's do it.
That's okay with y'all. Mostly because I drew an ace.
Hell yeah.
Whoa! We drew an ace!
Nobody saw it coming.
No one saw it coming. Alright, so a stroke of luck that leads you to what you seek. If you can get a faction to help you. And the faction is the clubs. Oh, the nerds.
Nerds.
Oh, okay. I think so what I'm looking for is, or I guess like what this step is. I guess the step is that I'm looking for my house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or should we land on a cliffhanger or just kind of treat this as the final? Like I find nothing. What do y'all think?
Whatever feels more interesting to you.
I think
I kind of like a cliffhanger.
yeah, I'm liking the cliffhanger a little bit. I don't know if it'll be super dramatic, but it'll be like they're like I'm like looking around on this map that I have on me, and I'm like walking around, and I'm like, all right, so I think the root system says that like, if they brought it here, then they transplanted it over here, and like I'm like clearly lost. But then uh, I see a nerd, and they're jeez. I'm
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I like said that completely with no irony whatsoever. That's just who they are in my brain now.
Yeah.
I see a nerd, and I think they're carrying a bunch of plants. Like I think they're carrying a bunch of flowers, and it's like, oh my god, there's our family flower. Like, or not our. Sorry, there's not our family, but it's the same type. Like they're carrying around like a bunch of the same flowers,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, wait a second, maybe our family flower is in this little flower cart, right?
Yeah.
And I go up to them and I go, hey, I'm looking for a flower that has, and I think I'm like, it's this kind of a flower and it's got a similar pattern to it. The pattern is, I don't know, it's not Jim Belushi's face. It's, I think it's like each petal has like a constellation. Of like the generations growing up. So it's like, oh, my mother's like this is my mother's like the constellation that was in the sky when my mother was born, and then this is like of her mother and her mother before her, and like and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Which I think is like why it's important for me is I'm like I'll have to eventually breed it for my star, and then I'll pass that down.
That's so cool.
And it's like I'm looking for this, and I think the nerd is like, well, I don't see it, right? Like it's not here, but the there's a competition happening, and I'm growing stuff for this competition because we've established that there are like I imagine them like there has to be them for actual flowers, but I'm imagining like dog shows, Right? This is my dog. And you're like, wonderful. 10 points. That's a dog.
This flower did amazing in the agility course. It's really kill or be killed.
Jeez. And I think, you know what? Okay. I'm just gonna go all out real quick.
Please.
Because it's a cliffhanger. I think the thing is like, oh well, I don't. Well, hold the phone. Well, I'm growing these for a competition, so there's going to be a bunch of these here anyway. Like like if you want to, like, I can help you out by like getting you into this competition where there'll be a bunch of these types of flowers anyway. And grand prize is like a big bundle of seeds. Maybe yours is in there, like of like a bunch of people's stuff. And who knows, you might even find your flower there. Like we like whenever we don't just toss away like these are loved flowers. So whenever we find them in the wild, or like if we have to remove them or move plants and stuff, move gardens, we'll usually keep track of them, or like take them and find them a new home and all this whatnot. So maybe you'll find it there, but you can't get in unless you're participating, and so it's like I'm like, oh, okay.
Everybody has to ante up a seed, and then like the winner gets all the seeds.
Yeah. And they're like, here, like, look at the selection of stuff. Like, here's the roster. It's now a bracket. It's a competition. It's Pokemon. They're Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, they fight each other. Yeah, not only is mine a beautiful like recollection of our generations, it also spits fire. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, it's EVs and IVs are just out of control.
Oh yeah. Um, and I think I do see it. Like it's maybe like there in the uh in the competition. Like
Nice.
that's my lead is I'm like, wait, hold up. That's our family name. Or that would be the subgenus, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
hold up, that looks really familiar. I could definitely do this. Like I just need to get in and win, right? Uh and then I'll be able to like get access to wait, is I can't just end there. I'm sorry I'm double backing all the time. It
That's
can't just
okay.
end there. I think it's more a the okay. We'll run back a second. I got this.
Mm-mm.
The 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 nerds run this competition. Or like
Nice.
a faction, I think like a few different factions kind of like rotate who's hosting it.
Mm.
So it's like this fun. Also, like everyone's involved, and different other people like do this. Maybe the flowers way more common, and it is kind of like Pokemon, where it's all like, yeah, Pokemon exist. They're all called Pokemon, but they also are different and fun.
Oh.
Um, or Digimon, they're all code, but all of this code is different based on who did it. Um, and so they're like, yeah, and like so, oh, the nerds are hosting this, and the this, the grand prize is like a decoder, like a it's like you scan flowers and it like will branch off and it'll like tell you the whole history of them. So it's
Oh,
like I'm sure that
cool.
could help you because I'm trying to think of what the next step is. So I'm like, okay, the next step is win this fucking tournament or whatever, right? And get the grand prize, which is this decoder, which I can then use to like trace flower to flower until eventually I can
Oh, that's
like
so
find the
cool.
genus. And then also, that'll take me all around the city as well, right? It still fits within the scope of like I get to meet cool people who also take care of these flowers. And the nerd who nobody in this world has a name, but this nerd is like, I think I stumped. Okay, we're going back another second because the way the scene starts is this nerd is fumbling and is like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I got these cool gadgets that I've made, but the gadgets don't work. And I walk up and I'm like, that's because you can't control them with gadgets. And I like kind of whisper and give them a little, like mess with their soil a little bit, and then they kind of
Oh.
perk up. And he's like, oh my God, how'd you do that? And I'm like, oh, it's in the family, like we love raising these guys. I'm
Oh.
actually looking for one right now. And then the whole conversation, I was like, oh, wait, hold up. And so now, because I want to incorporate if you can get a faction to help you. And I think
Yeah,
like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
this guy's like, well, I have all of these guys. Like, we can work together. We can tag team this, like with
Yeah.
your expertise and my weird unorthodox technology. I think also they're bullied by all the other nerds. Like they're like, you'll never get anywhere. You're doing weird stuff. And
Yeah.
he's like, my weird stuff won't work. you know. I'm basically building up a tournament arc. I don't know if you
That's
fully realize
amazing.
this. Also in my brain, it's the Beyblade tournament arc, um, specifically. Uh, yeah.
They
um,
say let her grow.
that's and so I think it's like, all right, well, let's go off to this tournament then, and I'll I'll help you out. And it's like, okay, yeah. Um, Oh, but I need to put something on my body. It's
And
gotta
the
be.
and the flower reaches up a little stem to you, and it says hibiscus. Hi hi.
Oh my god. Yeah. Wait. I think like the change is that like it. I got a little guy, and like the person's like, I got this new experimental piece of technology that like you can communicate with the flowers.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's like a vocator. I'm gonna draw on my neck, I guess. Is
Do
what's
it.
Sweet.
happening. So it's more well, this is a little easier, to be honest.
Oh, good.
It's like a cool vocator. What are they? Sigil small dots. Oh, perfect. So it's like, here you go. Plop a bunch of. Sorry, I'm using pink. Very light. Uh, and it's kind of like this. Well, I have a beard, so I can't really jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it like kind of goes up. And
We'll
you're
wait
like,
for you to shave.
for the sake of the playtest, I can't believe I gunked that up. I should have. Oh. Yeah, and then I guess and then for the sake of wrapping up, I guess our
Yeah.
final scene is us like walking towards the fucking dome. Wait, the dome. There's a dome in the
There's a
dome.
smaller dome in the dome.
Sort
Yep.
of. A dome
Yeah,
dome.
the dome. The Doug Diven dome. Uh, so, so it's you. We were wasting your plans. Oh my goodness, we were surprised. Holy wait, oh my god. Um
Uh,
so yeah, that's as we go off and I have like a knee nerd friend and we're hopefully going to win a thing. Uh
oh my gosh.
that
I
will help
never would
me.
have predicted it would end up this way, but it's really good.
It was very good.
I'm glad.
I love this dome. I want to visit this dome.
I love
Yes.
this
People
dome,
flying
yeah.
now.
Yeah. No, that was some very satisfying world building. I'm like, I would play several games in this little world you
I
made.
love
Yeah,
this
I
little
want to know
dome
more.
world.
I want to know more about these fungus people. Is who I like.
Oh, the fungus people
They're
are great,
so
yeah.
fun.
I was thinking that the fungus people were going to be like weird and kind of witchy. I was thinking that they would be a little kind of like coven-y, but instead I love making them just like a risk, not like, well, like, I guess like they're kind of fancy tea party people.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's it.
Bridge players.
They're bridge players.
That's
I,
so good.
I really want to see if I can make that game, but I don't know how because you need to be able to, you need to know truthfully if somebody is lying.
A
Yep.
game that you need a hive mind to play. Put it on the big list.
All right.
And we're gonna make it happen on a future
That's
episode.
so good. Yeah, so I'll join y'all for Captain America and Hive Mind. And not Captain America, Captain Planet and Hive Mind game. We'll see how that works.
Oh, all right. Well, would you like to
It is a compliment.
Yes, all of us.
Yes.
All of us want to write this right now.
Very good. Would you like to say your farewells to the fans? Let them know any projects you want to plug, any things you have going on, where they can find you on the internet.
Yes. So I'm Viditya Valetti. Thank you for having me. You can find me on Twitter at Viditya Valetti, and you can find my games at vidityavaletti.itch.io. You can also find me as a cast member on All Nerds Here, or season just ended. I'm there with Alex. So you can go through the VODs and watch our game of Passion de las Pasiones Coruscant Station. It was lovely and wonderful, and you
So
should.
good.
And then also, this is another thing that Alex is doing. But I'm playing with the Forever GM people playing Dragon Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited about
Oh, that
that.
sounds like a cool game. Tell us more about
Well, do you wish you could play AD&D but not play D&D?
that.
It's
I wish
Dragon
that
Hearts.
all the time.
But yeah, I'm excited about that. There's no content out yet, so it'll be happening soon-ish. I actually don't know what the
Yeah, pretty
pipeline is
soon.
for that, but look out for that.
Keep your eye on it.
And then I think, God, I always forget what things to plug. I'm not on any Kickstarters. I'm not really doing much. Check out Basic TCG. I released a game about a month ago called Basic TCG. It's a
Yeah.
community-driven trading card game and created. It's a community-created and driven trading card game. If you want to make civics, but not, or like honestly, like it's the kind of game where like if you wanted to make any of these people from these factions from this game that we
Oh,
played
that'd
and
be
just turn them
perfect.
into trading card games, trading card archetypes.
Cards.
It's like the perfect game to do that. And also I I do game design consulting. So if you want me to look at your game and help you through it, and even especially like I've helped people who are just kind of starting. So it's like I have this idea, I have these core mechanic ideas that I want to do. Where do I go with it? What mindset should I be in? I've helped people with that. Similarly, I can do kind of what like editing, but not your words, but your mechanics. So if you're like, does this game make sense? I've written it out. What here is weird? What works? What doesn't? I can be like, these are some notes. So if you want to hire me for that, I have rates, and my DMs are always available.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
I like it too. I like genuinely like doing it too. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
if you like it makes my day and I love going through people's stuff and being like, this is rad. Let's talk like tell me what your thought process is so we can make it radder or if you're uncomfortable like if you're like I don't know where I am I love being like all right let's see like I love asking questions and I love asking all that stuff.
It's already rad enough. It needs to be more tubular.
It needs to be yeah. Our rad levels are here. We got to bring the tubular levels.
Oh,
I think that's it. Sorry for letting me
yay!
ramble on about my plugs, but
That's great. Do we have any plugs? What do we do? Do we do plugs? I forget. I don't
we
think I
always
have
do
anything
plugs.
that Viditya didn't already talk about.
yeah.
You can follow Forever GM at Forever GM on Twitter to see when we're coming out with Dragon Hearts. So that is going to be a lot of fun. We've already done our character creation. It's super good. You can find my games at fractaldragon.itch.io. So that's a cool thing. And I think that's all my stuff.
And you can find me at GlaveGuizarm on Twitter, glaveguizarm.itch.io. I just released The Empire Undying, my Gideon the Ninth inspired. It started as a lasers and feelings hack that's gone terribly out of control and is now a 50-page zine. Be knights and necromancers in a crumbling space empire. Raise the dead, fight the dead, and make out, because that's the only way that you can heal damage. And it is for the next week or so on a negative 23% off sale, which is to say it costs 23% more than normal as part of my Transiversary anti-sale.
Yay!
I love it.
That's Glaive Guizarm. Just search for Glaive Guizarm. How many Glaive Guizarms can there possibly
Yeah, I'm
be?
sure it's
Spell it
gonna.
correct. There are 2 silent E's. And also, we're Unplaytested. Come visit unplaytested.com or Twitter at Unplaytested. Or join the Unplaytested Discord and chat with us. Or join the Unplaytreon at, I assume it's patreon.com/unplaytested or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
You can become an. Do we still have unplanetary overlord?
Overlords?
Overlord, that's what it is.
What?
Yes. Various exciting tiers, getting you all sorts of fun content. including this game. If you don't want to buy it individually, you can subscribe to get all of our games
Yeah,
at
be
the
a
right level.
$5 patron, and you get games just
Get
sent to
your
your
games.
inbox every dang fortnight.
It's very good. These games rule.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this one turned out pretty
This one turned
dang
out really well.
well.
I'm pretty
I would say
hyped.
this was a very successful game. The prompts are nice. The world building is simple but gets you going.
I had no idea what it was going to be like.
If anything, too fun to play. The biggest problem was that the scenes took too long because you were having too much fun.
we were having fun and laughing, and we need to do less
Yeah.
of that. Less
Yeah.
laughing,
Less of
more
that.
Less of that.
somber consideration.
I didn't do the bit. I should have done the bit where I just.
Just
All right, next
Oh,
prompt.
yeah. Oh, next time.
All right. Hey, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching, and we will catch you next time on Unplaytested. Wow.